Welcome to another episode of Pels in the Blender. It's your boy Davis coming in on this was today Tuesday morning. Trying to get this morning, almost afternoon episode in, man. I missed y'all the last couple days. The Pels had two games since the potentially franchise turning, firing and bringing in James Borrego. We did a full episode on that and all of the interviews and stuff. So this is not about that. This is actually for the actual games that's played, what it is that we've been seeing, and what it is to, I guess, expect and how things are going right now. So personally, when the move happened, based on the timing and when they did it, like, are we shocked that they're still getting blown out right now? Not really. I'm not. One, I didn't have any expectations on what they would look like when the move happened. No, man, my bad. It ain't 11 a.m. though, but I was just kind of worked up. Yeah, kind of worked up. Went on my morning run. I was just like, you know what? Look, let's get to it. So we dropped it a little early. Appreciate y'all though. Appreciate you for tapping in, dog. So that's kind of what it is. Like, they fired Willie, and then the next day you got a game. So there's no real practice time, there's no real adjustments, there's no real time to implement anything. So you still kind of essentially you telling them the idea of what I want you guys to do, but you don't have no real opportunity to coach out habits. You're doing all of this stuff on the fly. And then you're still doing this without your best player, possibly your second best player. And again, depending on how you look at DeJounte, possibly your third or second or third best player from that perspective too. So like, and then not only do you have games, but you have games against Golden State, who's a veteran team. Good morning. Appreciate the kindness. We need to give the team time. I agree. Borrego even acknowledged that. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. If you gotta, again, think about this from a personal level, right? Let's say you got a family member, and this is how I like to internalize things. I like to make it personal for people so they can understand, because all of this is the same. Let's say you got a family member, right, who your cousin or something like that, they ain't been acting right, and they come to you and they be like, look, man, I need you to help me straighten them out or get them together, right? Do you think one talking to is going to have that person on the straight and narrow the next day? Or do you think it's going to take repeated habits, changing some stuff, right? Constantly teaching and preaching and helping and mentoring, and like, this stuff takes time. And especially if you put, like, if the next day you put them in the fire against one of the worst situations they could be in. So like, which is why I think the firing, while it needed to happen, when they fired him at 2-10 as opposed to the 0-6, right? At 0-6, you had an opportunity to like maybe get some practice time and then go against a Dallas, get some more practice time and then go against a Charlotte, get some more time, and then you got the Spurs, then you got the Suns, then you got, like, the amount of time that you would have had to start establishing rhythm, establishing your culture, mindset, start like breaking the habits against teams that, and then while we're being honest, like, Golden State beat the piss out of teams all the time. Like, it ain't just us, they beat the brakes off teams all the time. Like, especially young teams that don't know what's going on. Like, veteran teams do that to younger teams, right? OKC, who's beat, other than the Portland one game, who doing anything to OKC? So let's just be realistic. I mean, yes, we want them to look a certain type of way, but we also have to put like the practical side, and what's really going on. Like, dog, the dude just took over, what, 3 days ago? 3 days ago. And in that time, you didn't have two games. And not two bad teams. This ain't the Wizards. You got two games against like championship level contenders without your best players, right? So you kind of gotta have some like give it some time. my biggest thing is that you have two dudes on the team that know their role, Ben and Carlo. You can see everyone struggling, trying to balance. Absolutely. People trying to figure out what they're doing. They don't know whether to dribble. They still not passing the ball enough. The fundamentals on this team is really, really bad. The basics is really, really bad. Where DJ been? I don't know where he been. They haven't said much, but I guess you know how it is when you got injuries, out of sight, out of mind. Realistically, if you think about it, he's supposed to, I mean, I think they was talking about him coming back in December sometime. So realistically, if you think about it, you kind of getting close to his return. You what, like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks? He'll be back. That'll be here before you know it. What was saying, bro? Appreciate it. Always watch the show. First time being here live. For sure. Appreciate you for tapping in, dog. For sure. Appreciate y'all. But I'm just think about it from a realistic standpoint. Whoa, what's good, man? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. So, like, think about it from a realistic standpoint. If you James Borrego, right? The first thing, then you got to think too, he immediately comes and changes the lineup. You went from Looney playing to Looney not getting no minutes, right? We trying to up the pace. Like, you still got people like Herb, and I just kind of get on Herb, but Herb to me is like just overly aggressive. Like, everybody is kind of overly aggressive. And I think we have to, like, people need to somewhat understand their limitations in this system, which is why I think not having Z and not having Poole and not having DeJounte kind of, hurts the team. Now, the benefit of it is, like, yeah, you suck, but the benefit of it is like right now you got your young players getting a lot of play time, a lot of opportunity, a lot of game minutes that they probably wouldn't have got in a normal situation, right? If everybody healthy, you probably don't see these dudes playing and getting the opportunity to do this. Also, like, Herb got his talent stole. Bruh, listen, more than anything, Herb had a good defensive game against Golden State. Herb played really well defensively. But it's just like shot selection and timing and like just the things that they try almost. It's like they not understanding the situation. Like, JB probably came in and told him, I want you to play fast. I want you to move the ball. I want y'all to play aggressive. And then, like, everybody thought they became a lob thrower. Like, historically, the Pelicans have not had, other than like Lonzo and Najee from time to time, we don't have nobody that throw no lobs. What makes y'all think y'all can throw lobs now? So, like, I think people need to still, like, understand the limitations that they have. And when you play within your limitations, that's how you maximize. Like, what are we dog, that's crazy. The lives got me dying. Like, they out there throwing back to back lives. Like, dog, y'all historically, y'all are a bad lob throwing team. The only person that really could catch them, Carlo could catch them, Eves, Trey, and Z. Other than that, ain't nobody catching no lobs. Like, so, no, I don't know what they got going on. He inherited years worth of bad habits, basketball piled up. Gonna take a long time to get this shit right. Agree, Herb needs to go to the bench for sure. Yeah, bro, listen, and Herb still has value. You know what I mean? Herb's a good player, but Herb in the starting lineup, just in my opinion, is minimizing. It's just making it harder for everybody because it's minimizing Herb to a degree, but it's also like minimizing what the other players can do. And if you're not going to be like great defensively and a great decision maker, then what are we playing you in the lineup that many minutes for? So, like, that's just kind of my point. And I don't know, you see JB willing to make some lineup adjustments. I'm wondering if, because like when Z and Poole come back, I actually expect them to be back. I don't know about Poole necessarily. I wouldn't be shocked if Z played in the Denver game, because they said he pretty close or whatever. And to the injuries and stuff like that real quick. So I know people mad that Z not playing or Z hurt or whatever the situation is. And it's kind of like, hey man, bench, like, we gotta trade him and stuff like that. I understand it. This is really the first year I was kind of like, you gotta trade Z, but well, not you gotta, but I understand if you do. But let's think about this. If Z and Poole are playing, right? Let's say they never get hurt. Like, realistically, Willie Green, like, is not fired. Like, I don't think they 2-10 if Z and Poole are all playing. So if the cost of removing Willie Green is you had to miss those, like Zion and Poole had to miss those games, I'm willing to sacrifice it. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice. And now, granted, it's unfair to the other players that's still playing and got to go through it. But again, if this team is, what are they right now? 2-12, 2-13, 2-12. They 2-12 right now. If they 2-12, right? If that's 4-7 or something like that, you know what I mean? Like something a little closer to 500, then maybe you get another week or two of Willie Green. Like, and it's possible with Zion. You've seen with Zion on the floor, like, you at least in games. So, like, Z being hurt, I understand people being upset about it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, dog, if that's what it took, like, if the Zion hamstring had to happen for us to get off of Willie Green, like, count your blessings, bro. Count your blessings. Now you got Borrego trying to establish himself, and it's going to take time. And again, I want to see what he looks like with Zion. That's just me. I feel bad for Trey. The defense they playing against him is insane. Dude touched the ball last night, and OKC sent the whole team. Trey needs some help out there. Absolutely. Trey. So the thing with Trey, to me, watching him play is sometimes he simplifies his game, which makes it a little bit easier. And then sometimes he could do too much. I think he needs to find the balance, but it's tough at the end of the day because, like, let's just be realistic. Trey, while he's a good player, Trey's not a all NBA level, all NBA level talent. I don't think Trey is a number one option, like, level player right now. So it's only with Trey being your best player on the floor, it's only so much that you're gonna be able to get from Trey anyway. So I think you can still maximize Trey's times, but you gotta have Z back and Poole back for it to look a certain type of way. Whoa, what's good, Q? Appreciate you for tapping in. I still got faith in one. When he's on the floor, he's the best player in the Pelicans jersey. We only 14 games in. Ridiculous to call for the blow up. Bro, like, again, and I know it's tough to watch, but that's a good point. You're only 14 games in. Yes, it's a rough process. But again, it's been years of bad habits. It's been years of bad habits. So, like, I don't understand why we overreacting as if you can take a team, right? Look, give me anybody that coaches and stuff like that. You have a bad team that's had bad habits, like, and we already know you don't have your best players. Your talent level is, mediocre to a degree at certain spots, right? And then you think you're gonna go against, like, the best of the best and win? No. But in spots in those games, they showed what it is that they were trying to work towards. Like, they showed what they were, like, in that what was the first, in the Golden State game in the second quarter, right? You saw when they was making the right reads. When they were making the right reads, they were trusting each other. They was passing the ball, making some good decisions. You in that game. And then a couple bad plays from, your rookie, and a couple bad plays from the team, which, again, he's still a rookie, so who cares, right? You got to give those dudes some grace too. You playing Fizz a lot of minutes. Queen's getting some minutes. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they have to figure out along the way, that you have these types of things early in seasons, right? And then throughout the course of the season, you kind of see how it goes. So, like, you got to think, we already in, like, they had a whole training camp preseason, and 12 games into the season of one style of what was going on. And JB's trying to undo all of that on the fly with 3 games back to back. Well, 3 games and 4 nights against some of the best teams in the league. That is just tough. It's just tough. I think Joe thought this team had more talent than when he was coming in. I think he think they have talent, but at the same time, I think he just wanted to see. I think the Herb for Kuminga rumors were true at the time. I mean, DeJounte had never been here. And if you look at what they brought in, right? They brought in Sadiq Bey. He's been solid. They brought in They brought in Poole. When Poole was playing, he was doing what you thought Poole was going to do. They never had DeJounte Murray. And then your two rookies have been promising. So, like, I don't know how much he thought of Jose and Hawkins or whatever. Carlo been a bright spot. He's been a bright spot. Like, you seem like you got something with your young bigs you're trying to figure out. So, it's just, I think he wanted to fire Willie from day one and just wasn't able to do it. I think the mandate was obviously proven true. But I think he believed that, you know, I want to have an opportunity to work with Zion. And if I need an opportunity, if I got to keep Willie to have an opportunity to work with Zion, then I'll do that. And then I think we'll see, because until you see Zion with JB, you still don't know what's going on. You still don't know. And again, like, I know people mad about the injury, but if it took the hamstring to get that dude removed, then sacrifice it. And again, it's only been, I think Z missed like 8 games now or something like that, and he'll be back in a game or two. If he's good for the rest of the way, you still got potentially 65 to 70 games that he could play. Not saying that he will, but you still got 65. You got 65 plus games to like assess what's going on. Like, there's still so much of the season left. That's just my opinion. Trey will be PG light by next season. Book it. Are you Paul George light? How light? Because Pete, like, I don't know if you be looking at like which Paul, like Indiana Paul, like which Paul George. Also, I think Joe is looking at this team as a multi-year build and not blow it up. Maybe trade away certain guys. That's what I think too, Mike. To be honest, I think they want to establish the culture. And I think they're looking to make more moves around the edges. Like, I think you see like the Hawkins moves, Jose moves. You might see I don't know necessarily if you see a Looney move, but I think you see more of the secondary parts get moved as opposed to just like the big blow up right away, especially when you haven't had an opportunity to see them with James Borrego. Like, you just need to see it. You don't know what's gonna happen with DeJounte yet, so they still got some pieces and stuff that they can maneuver. But I think Joe is much more patient than we giving them credit for. Like, and you gotta be when even though they've had some success, right? Even though they had some success, you know this isn't a championship level. Like organization, right? Man, you got to strip that down to the studs. But that don't always mean that you got to get rid of everything. Sometimes you just need to look at, okay, what can we salvage, right? What can we salvage? And I think that's the process that they in. They couldn't salvage the coach. All right, boom, that's done. Z, you're now the focus is on Zion. Let's assess that. What can we do with Zion? We already know where we at with the rookies. You know where you at with the rookies. Where you at with Trey? Where you at with Herb? Because to be honest, the way Herb looked, the way we considered Herb before the season and what Herb looked like right now, you might have changed your opinion of Herb. So, like, I think everything is fluid, man. You just kind of got to give it time and see what happens. But where I was wrong, right, was I thought this could be a 40-something win team and a 49 to 50 win team. To be a 49 to 50 win team, they had to have been extremely, extremely healthy. And I thought they would be able to play a certain type of way out the gate. The part that I was wrong with is that when Willie started, he just wasn't even willing to lean into that. And the thing is even though, like, example, we talk about them playing fast, even though like they've been losing these games, you can see the pace that JB would have wanted to install to really play fast and play the lineups to fit that. Like, he's really trying to figure it out. You see Michael Peavy finally getting minutes, right? And like, again, just because you get put in the game, bro, don't mean like in game one you're gonna be the best version of yourself. Like, it takes time finding the right roster, like the right lineup combinations, the right minutes, like who you playing with, who you going against. Like, all of that stuff is just like, the thing I trust is that they're actually evaluating whatever it is. I personally think you need at least a 5 to 10 game sample of something, right, of something, like, which I think what he's trying to do is establish the identity, the principles, what it is we want to do. And then now we could go back and film and say, see, these types of passes, we don't do these. Like this is what we looking for defensively. Or when we're in trouble, we're going to start trapping. Like those kinds of things, so you can get comfortable with knowing what it is you're doing. You got to think, you're looking at an OKC team, dog. That team been in construction for like 5 years now. Like 5 years or more. Like how long ago like Shea went there? Like they went through a long process of tearing it down and building it up. Right? So I just, again, man, you just gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. The Indiana PG. Paul George didn't really start to peak until he got to age 25, where Trey is now. Trey's struggling, but being a man right now is great for his development. He needed this. I agree. Whatever doesn't kill you make you strong. I firmly believe that. And I think Trey will be better for this. I think Trey needs to. I think Trey, while he has, I think he's still trying to figure it out. Like, I think he's still trying to figure it out because it's a lot of things that are changing. Like, as Trey gets more freedom, right? Sometimes you try to do too much, and that still just might not be your game yet. You know what I mean? So, like, PG, when PG was in Indiana, it's not like he didn't have Danny Granger in the beginning, you know what I mean, to kind of help out. And they still have Roy Hibbert and Lance Stevenson later on and stuff like that. So, like that, Trey is fine. I just, like, all of them need to go through this to kind of, like, learn on the fly. And, like, the main questions I have are, and you see kind of the style they want to play is when Z and Poole come back healthy, right? What are we doing with Herb? Like, what are we doing to Herb? Are you willing to bench Herb? That's what I want to know. And not saying that like Herb don't need to play, but I just think we need that. Like people, like again, man, I've been saying this the last couple pods. They just too free on offense. They're too free on offense. Like they need to have some kind of hierarchy and some kind of rules as to what's going on. But again, and even if they do, I don't think you could give too many rules when you haven't had practices to actually try and implement the stuff. I mean, at best, they didn't have like a walkthrough, right? Like you got a walkthrough. We could you still doing some of the stuff that you've been doing. If you listen to Antonio Daniels, when he did his interview, he said they was watching practice. He said, man, that's some of the same stuff we was doing with the Spurs. Like some of they breaking up into groups, trying to emphasize some of the work that they were doing on certain concepts. So like you just gotta give it time, man. Can he get a break? Like, can we get 2 days off? Can I get 2 days off? And again, it's part of it's just the hand you've been dealt. You want the gig, I get it. But from like a fan perspective, like, dog, that's a really tough situation, like to be in right out the gate, right? At least I think so. If you gave me, I don't know, like get almost any team in the league and take like the top 2 or 3 best players off the team, and then you go play 2 or 3 of the best players in the league, like you probably gonna get smacked. That's just the way it is. And there were points in those games where you saw they were competitive, or they they cut into the lead and stuff like that, but they just don't have enough. They don't have enough to like impact defenses. They don't have enough to like really cause problems for other teams right now. Well, not those teams. So, I mean, you just got to give it some time and we'll see. I'm not overly stressed, man. We got to relax. We got to pump the brakes. They got a game again tomorrow against Denver. I'm not sure if Z gonna play or not. But like realistically, do you expect him to win? No. If they was healthy, you wouldn't expect them to win. But it's possible that they could look like we've seen them against Denver once already, right? It's possible we could see a different type of game than what we saw in the first game against Denver. That's what I'm looking for. Like, how do they look this time and compared to last time they played them? Do that mean they win? Probably not. But it might be more competitive. You might play a style that lends to that plays more into your advantage with the youth and stuff like that. So you just got to give it time, man. You got to give it time. The more, and again, being 14 games in a season, let's see what they look like by game 20. Not saying that they still can't be bad, but by game 20, by game 30, right? Like, your rookies would have seen a lot more. Trey will have seen a lot more. Eves and Carlo and Queen in these new roles that they're in, they'll be more comfortable with that. Like, you just gotta give it time, bro. So I'm not gonna keep y'all long today. This was just kind of one of those episodes, just kind of like, bro, let's just, in the words of the immortal Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, let's relax. Let's relax. Give it time, right? Like, we still should be celebrating. You can't keep us waiting this long. That's my bad, bro. That's my bad. Listen, we back regular now. Work been going crazy. The OT been killing them. The OT been killing them. We gotta get it. But you gotta understand that, like, let's just pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. Give time to, like, actually let some of the coaching kick in. Like, to be honest, I'm still celebrating firing Willie Green. Respectfully. Like, not that I don't care about what's going on right now, but I'm like, yes, we need to move on. I'm still happy that regardless of what James Borrego does, like, at the end of the day, regardless of what James Borrego does, you still have an opportunity now to get a good coach or a quality coach. You still in the process of evaluating, like, you still have so many options available to you to, like, be stressed or panicked over, like, the wins or losses, what would have sucked, not sucked, but, like, let's say you would have won, you would have beat OKC, right? You wouldn't have, but let's just say you would have beat OKC. Right now, you probably got some super unattainable expectation that people gonna put on the team, and then you make rash decisions based on that, right? Like maybe like, oh shit, maybe we need to go all in. We see the potential. They beat OKC without Zion. What? No, dog. No, like, this thing is going. The only thing that they could have done different, in my opinion, was fire Willie Green sooner, around that 0-6, that 0-6 mark, like they should have, and you would have been able to give James Borrego some time to get some practices, to get some games against some lesser competition. Still competitive teams. Portland is a competitive team right now. Phoenix is a competitive team right now. Like, the Spurs were a competitive team, and you saw they still did a good job against the Spurs. So, like, it's in there but when you playing the top teams in this situation, it's gonna be tough. We need to trust the process. Dumars has proven he can win, so let's not give up just because we might not fully recognize what a championship team looks like. I agree. And when you're trying to build a championship team or a championship culture, a championship organization, dog, it don't happen overnight. And there's still down times in that. Like, one of the years, I cannot remember if it was the year Boston, maybe what year was it when Boston started off like right around 500 or less than 500 and then rattled. Now, granted, we're not Boston. We are not Boston, right? I get it. But there were, like, you see times and seasons where teams start off really, really slow and then get on some kind of a run, right? They figure some stuff out, they make some changes, and then it takes off. It can click, it can happen. If we believe James Borrego is a really good coach, which, again, James Borrego, regardless if he's here or not, is going to be a candidate for a head coaching job somewhere. So you are being coached and assessed by a really good, potentially really good head coach. Like, give it some time and let's see what we look like 20 games in, 30 games in, when Zion is actually back. And again, when people talk about the Zion injury, yeah, you pissed off that he gone. But like, this ain't like the previous injuries where that motherfucker was gone for, 4 months, 5 months. The dude missed like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. If they win 2 games in that time frame, you feel completely different about it, right? Anthony Davis has missed time and has missed time. Cam Thomas missed time. Who else didn't miss time? Like, it's a bunch of stars in the league that's missed. PG ain't played a game yet, right? So like, J-Dub still ain't played. Now, granted, we 7 years in, so people feel some type of way, but at the same time, though, like, players miss games. Players miss games. It's funny to me, like, why is the best team in the league the OKC Thunder, who we can't beat at our very best and healthy? Absolutely not. Is the reason most of the fan base no, exactly. No, that one was that's a scheduled L. That's a scheduled L. Like, OKC, the Rockets, Denver right now, like, you're not beating them teams. You beating them teams. You think if they 5 Will at 0-6 and Zion played the 8 games since, how many games they win? I think for sure. At least 2 or 3. So I think if they would have fired him at 0-6, I think you win the Spurs game. I think you win the Spurs game. I think you win the Portland game. The Portland game you still could have won if Willie Green don't play Looney those minutes, right? If Willie Green don't play Looney, you in that game with a chance to win. So I think you win San Antonio. I think you still win Charlotte and Dallas. I think you win San Antonio. I think you win Portland. So what is that? 4 wins. And I think you're not getting smashed by Phoenix. Like, I don't think you get destroyed by Phoenix. So I don't know if you win the game or not, but like, you might be looking at 5 wins. And 5 and what is that? 4 and we still would technically be like 4-10. We'd be 4-10. But again, 4-10, you still right there because you still not beating OKC. You probably not that you can't beat Golden State, because Golden State is absolutely beatable. Even in the game, you had chances in the game, right? Like, you let Moses Moody go for 30 something. Like, that's an outlier. That's an outlier kind of moment. Like that. Like, if something like that's gonna happen, you're probably gonna lose. And even still, you had it right before the half. You looked better in the third quarter. Like, you had moments where you looked better in games. You just gotta sustain. You gotta sustain more often. You have to sustain more often. And I think they're capable. You just gotta continue to teach the principles that it is he's trying to teach, and not have people trying to do too much. You still got Herb trying to do too much. Jose doing too, like, respectfully to Jose, and Jose has absolutely played well, but Jose should not have to play 20 to 25 minutes a game, right? Like, when Jose comes in and he gives you his energy and his effort and all of that helps change the game, but then he goes, like, he's Jose, like, at some point, like, he's limited in what he could do. Like, you're not maximizing that time. It's different when you have Poole and then you take Poole out and you come back with Fierce, right? And then when Fierce is out, you come back with Poole. And if they both need a break, give me like 3 minutes of Jose. This is who Zion is. Y'all got to stop trying to convince yourselves he is going to be so different than he is. You don't get healthy as you get older. You never had shit, so y'all hold on too long. So listen, part of that is true. This is probably who Zion is. I don't even want to say pushback necessarily, but I've seen a lot of people, a lot of players, when they were here, look one way and then leave and look completely different. So maybe it's Zion, maybe it's us. Maybe it's dysfunctional. Everybody that leave the Pelicans organization go on to more prosperous stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then, maybe you turn to be whoever you are, but Like, can we really, like, dog, again, and think about, I'm not trying to give Zion, I'm not trying to cut Z no slack. I'm not trying to cut Z no slack. But again, we drafted a number 1 overall pick that was supposed to be a unique talent, and we immediately said that it wasn't his team. Like, it wasn't his team. Like, that's the type of shit that just get you fired. That's that type of stuff that get you fired. Like, we still never really built around Zion. Think about that. It's been 7 years. You still never really built around Zion. Now, granted, he's been hurt and all of that, but again, man, it's just a lot of stuff. So I completely understand why people be like, get off him. Again, he's only missed, like, we're only 14 games in. And this hamstring injury is not like the other hamstring injuries where he's due to come back any particular game. But also, I think it was him just refusing to play for the coach. The whole team wanted to fire him. The whole team wanted him gone. So it's kind of like, dog, if Z has to sit for the coach to be gone, then, dog, you got to do what you got to do. Same thing with Poole. Poole is historically healthy. Right? Now, all of a sudden, this man is probably, and I'm not saying that he can't get hurt, but throughout his career, he's like religiously 70 plus games. And then all of a sudden he hurt after going to the bench after having the, you know what I mean, the reported spat with Willie Green. Come on, man. Like, we got to think about this for more than like the surface level of what it is. And I'm not saying that everybody is perfect and stuff like that, but these are still people. These are still people. He's not seriously hurt, and he'll be back this week. That's what I think. And you see Borrego every time they show him at practice, he specifically talking to Z. If anybody got an idea, Z's health is Borrego, in my opinion. They say he's been working out with him every day after practice and stuff like that. So I think they actually have a plan. Some stuff that they're trying to see, some stuff that they're trying to implement, right? And you still just got to give it time. You got to give it time. How much time, I don't know. But realistically, you had 70 games. You was 2-10, you got 70 games. 70 games to go about it however you want to go about it. And then in the offseason, you figure it out. But I'm not tripping because one, we wouldn't win no championship anyway. Two, you hit on your rookies. You wasn't winning no championship. You hit on your rookies. Willie Green is gone. Like, realistically, the season is a win already. Anything on top of that is land, yeah, in my opinion. Because you was rebuilding anyway. Now you just need to figure out what we doing with Z, what we doing with Herb, what we doing with Trey, right? Like, what we doing? Who was hurt, not a chance. Ben for Willie for being petty, and they can't make it that obvious thing. Z's coming back. Yeah. No, they'll be back this week, in my opinion. I know Z will be back. I don't know about Poole. Hamstrings are trigger. As soon as you think you're good to go, it can get aggravated. His body type is not made to constantly put that kind of torque on it. I agree. So again, we don't know. But what we do know is previously when he had hamstring injuries, like, they'll be like, yeah, it immediately comes out indefinitely, right? Like, when he done been hurt before, they'll be like, yeah, Zion hamstring pulled out indefinitely. They didn't say that. When the injury happened, it was like 7 to 10 days. And then if you line that up with the schedule, you was like, 7 to 10 days, we play who? We probably gonna lose all of those. They was thinking about firing him at 0-6. We probably could get him out. And again, the report was that if Willie Green wasn't coaching a couple of those games that Z missed, he probably could have played. Right? So it's all on how you feel about it. Now, again, would I prefer him to be out there? Absolutely. And I'm not cutting him no bail for not being out there, but I think about it like, dog, if him and Poole are playing, There is no way they look as bad as they look, and the coach is still around. Possibly. You could go get him. I don't know if you will go get him alone. But now you can consider it. You can at least consider it. Like it might be a pipe dream, but at least you got the dream. Like before, when Willie was here, like that wasn't even a thought. Like it was just like, I don't know. And then maybe Borrego can get these dudes playing a style, right? A fucking up-to-date NBA style of basketball that maybe a good coach will look at the team and be like, okay, they are capable of doing some things. I think they should clean house staff-wise this offseason. I kind of agree, to be honest. I want to see what Borrego looks like. And then I would like give him an opportunity to hire his staff, because this staff isn't a NBA staff. If you look at the good staffs amongst the league, bro, them dudes are filled with like former NBA head coach. Look at JJ Redick's staff. This motherfucker got Scott Brooks on the staff, Nate McMillan on the staff. You know what I mean? Like, dog, just vet coaches that succeeded in the league. Really, other than James Borrego, all of these dudes are new. And that's not to say that they not good, but ain't no Sam Cassell's on this staff. Like, ain't no name somebody. Like, who's on the staff that you believe? Ain't no Dan Tony. Even when Dan Tony was in the building, he was like, hell no, I ain't gonna sit on that bench with no Willie Green. He's a higher consultant. Consultant what? They was the slowest paced team in the league. This dude revolutionized like basketball and pace. Why couldn't we get that? Ain't no, like, come on, man. My thing is, that the players are refusing to play because of coaching, then you got to get rid of the diva attitude because you're getting paid millions regardless of who you like. Yeah, I agree, but we all know that that's not how things work sometimes. Like, you play the game that's being played. Like, you see star players get their way too much. And realistically, regardless of whatever like credibility you want to give Z, if Z your star player and you know how star players feel, like, you should have been willing to remove Willie Green in the offseason. We should have never came into this season with that situation. Got to some of my better coaches that can teach these cats some fundamentals. How are we the only team in the league that has 5 drop passes a night? Shit makes no sense. 5 drop passes, they can't throw dog. The basic plays. Like, I don't care who out there. If you can't do fundamental stuff, then like you're gonna lose. I agree. We don't look this bad. Nah. When is Murray scheduled to return? Initially, they was talking about sometime in December, possibly January at the latest. I saw something before, it said he was targeting like mid-December, so who knows? But like, Murray returning, like even Murray off the bench at a limited capacity helps. The roster's challenged offensively. The guys that can help are hurt and look extremely uninterested. Zion and Poole. We'll see. I feel like they look very uninterested when Willie Green was here. I'm interested to see what they look like, because you constantly hear James Borrego talking about, I'm trying to get their spirits right. Like, dog, you got to think them dudes went through all summer, Willie not fired. Then the season started. They came in game 1. You saw that they played with some energy. They played with some fight and all of that. But then Willie Green just been, and again, some of that stuff is on the players. It's not all Willie Green fault that they were losing some of them games. But at the same time, like, Willie Green making Willie Green mistakes, dog, it's just like, why? And they said that's what happened to Z. Z was like, bro, what we doing? Right? Like, I did my part. I went got in shape. Right? You wanted me to come back in phenomenal shape. I did my part. I came back in spectacular shape. I worked on my game, right? Because in a couple of games, like, he wasn't shooting it too much, but you saw a couple games he was trying to shoot the little corner jumper. He hit the pull-up for the win against the Spurs. He was rebounded. So from a basketball perspective, he was doing his part. This dude ain't holding up his end of the bargain, but yeah, we not trying to fire. Come on, man. I think the coach of Pelicans needs Rondo. I think you need a Rondo on your staff. I'm not sure Rondo ready to be a head coach, but if you put a Rondo on the staff, that would go a long way with me. I would love to see Antonio Daniels become players loving it. Man, that dude ain't having that. That dude ain't having that, bro. Like, he know too much. These dudes don't do the big. Like, I think when you come from like that Spurs background and culture, don't nothing make you make you madder than like not getting back, not stopping. Dog, they do like bad at the basic level stuff. Stopping the ball, getting back in transition, passing to the open man, like making the right kind of pass, catching the ball, like basic stuff. Like, that shit is frustrating. Ain't no way. Like, everybody don't have the I know I know AD just be watching it like in his mind, or like when him and Joe be on break, they just talking crazy like, dog, these dudes god awful. Let me see where we at. Hold on. Where we at with some of these? The fact that they came into the season with Willie Green didn't make any sense. Nope. You were bound to lose. Losers lose. And right now, that's what we are. We losers. That's the problem. 7 years of data show that Zion isn't the type of player you build your franchise around. He's at best number 2 or 3rd option on the championship roster. Now, listen, that may be true, right? That may be true. Now, here's the thing. We ain't even trying to be a championship roster. I just want to be a consistent playoff contender, right? So, with that being the case, if some of my other players improve, right? If some of my other players improve, maybe at some point we're not looking at Zion as the number 1 best player. Maybe sometime you see somebody ascend and they become your best player, or at least your 1B, because that's what we thought Trey was. Trey's a good player. Like, he's still getting better, right? But if you did have Z that you don't have to depend on, and then Trey, but Fears and Queen come along, you still need some other pieces, right? But like, you have to be able to see it. Maybe you can put some pieces on. There's moves that could be made on the team to like bring other talent in. And I'm not saying you don't have to move Z, but what people don't understand is when you tear that shit down, like be ready to lose. Be ready to lose and be okay with being bad. And accept being bad and give them time to figure it out. So I think you still can do that now. Like, I think you still can do that now. Like, it's still a lot. You still have a opportunity in front of you. Like, this is just so much and again, maybe I'm too optimistic, but I don't even think this is optimism. I think this is just kind of what it is. I think that's kind of what it is. Like, when you fire a coach, right? Whoever comes in, like, hypothetically, if they would have fired the coach, let's say they fired Willie Green, and then announced the next day, boom, the Pelicans have hired Mike Malone. They've hired Mike Malone to be the coach, 5-year deal, 6-year deal, whatever, 50 mil, whatever, right? Do you think that they would have won those games they played? Do you think they would have won the games they played? If Mike Malone was coaching right now, do they beat the Warriors or do they beat OKC? No. So why are we in a panic? If Murray is healthy, my starting 5 would be DeJounte Murray, Bay, Trey, Z, and Missy. That's not bad. It gives you a lot off the bench. I think you could probably see something like that, to be honest. I think you can see an offense like that. And he's hurt again despite the weight loss. Say, bro, again, we don't know if he's hurt or if it was like, this guy got to go. We are so bad. Dog, transition defense, the basics is insane. The basics are insane. I'm 5'10", about $170, and I think I can play better transition defense than some of these dudes. How hard is to find your man running? Bro, stop the ball. Stop the ball. Like, that's the point that killed me. Bro, all you got to do is stop the ball. They don't even do that. Like, Find somebody and stop him, right? We can't keep nobody out the paint. They just, you bad. You know you bad. What I would like to do, if it were me, I would have 1 point of emphasis each game. 1 point of emphasis each game. And it's not to say that they don't try it, right? Because I'm pretty sure they are coaching it. But like, listen, man, today, this game, all I care about is getting back in transition and stopping the ball. Get back in transition and stopping the ball. That's all. Like, I don't care about necessarily the rebounding, none of that. Like, everybody get back and stop the ball. Let's practice that. Let's master the basics, right? And then you build on that. But I think that's the only way you could break some of the habits that like these teams that these players have built. And if they ain't buying in, then you gotta go. Simple. Yep, people saying tearing it down without guys like Zion or Trey on this team is even worse. You see how fans that's rigged over being 2-20, fuck 2-12. Gotta keep Z and see it through, man. At least for the season. At least for the season. That's just me, dog. That's just me. I personally, I just wouldn't move him. I wouldn't move him. I understand it, but I just wouldn't. Pelicans have 3 good players that can dribble: Fierce, Poole, and DeJounte Murray. And 2 of them ain't playing. But that's the problem you have. So right now you put more of the playmaking is on players like Herb, Trey to be a primary playmaker. Like, it's different Trey having ball handling responsibility of playmaking when you like the 3rd or 4th option, right? Like, okay, Poole's out there, Z's out there, DeJounte out, Fierce out. But like when you number 1 on the ball, like Trey don't have that kind of skill in bag yet. You know, that's not really his game. So I just think, man, we just, again, in the words of the immortal Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax, dog, relax. We only 14 games in. 14 games in. And our season possibly could be over. But what do we take? Willie Green is no longer the coach. That is a win. No matter how you feel. Like, to me, the season is already successful. That is a win. 2, you hit on your rookies. They look like they really can be what we thought they can be. And they're not old rookies. Like, Fierce is 19. Queen is really young. So, like, I'm not saying that they go on to be, they go on to be the best players in the league or nothing like that, but they absolutely look like players you could build around. And that's what you want to do when you hit your rookie. When you know what I mean? Pause. Crazy. When you draft a rookie. Oh, especially when you draft lottery picks. Looney shouldn't get any minutes, doesn't fit anything around. And he isn't. Thankfully, it took James Borrego to be like, look, man, we ain't giving you no burn. Them 10 minutes that he was playing, them 10, 11 minutes was costing you. Like, so now when you not playing the best of the best of the best, maybe we can, you could get into some rhythm. You gotta get some things going. And again, the tough thing about, or at least the blessing in playing such competition early on, right? You get tested right out of the gate. You getting tested right out of the gate. Like, we seen the best already. We know what we know what works. We know what we look like. We know what playing against the best looks like. So when you see teams that's lesser than that, right? Like, you'll have like certain things that you were able to work to cover, like, because again, they had stretches in those games where you had to make OKC take a timeout. You almost tied it up with Golden State. Like, you had stretches where you were in those games, right? Those are things that you could build on, that you could be like, okay, we just need to lean into this. It worked against some of the best teams in the league. Let's do more of that. As opposed to like you playing a bad team, fool's gold, right? Fool's gold. You doing stuff, everything look like it's working, and then you play a good team and it's like, no, that shit, that's dead. But you done spent a bunch of time implementing stuff that's not gonna work. I think that's the benefit of that. The reason I don't care is because I don't let these shit organizations don't get me upset. The facts. The 2 play-ins was made for the Pels and Zion, so we can be horrible and still make the play-in. Exactly. Dog, look at the West. The West still not good. The West not good. The top of the West is good. It is still early in the season. Wait till these teams, and I don't know if we're going to be one of these teams because now we trying to evaluate, but wait till these teams get ready to start shutting it down. The Nets getting ready to shut it down. Sacramento getting ready to shut it down. Utah at some point going to shut it down. Right? And that's when you just got to start making your moves. You got to be able to capitalize on those situations. Memphis at some point probably going to start shutting it down. Who knows? Then you got to be ready. Wemby about to be out for probably a month. Right? Like you gotta capitalize. You gotta capitalize. So with that being said, man, that's gonna do it for today's episode, bro. I appreciate all y'all for tapping in. You know what I mean? We will be back. You know, we're gonna be back for sure tomorrow. We're gonna be back tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna do before the game or after the game. We might do something post game. So I don't know. We'll see. But we definitely gonna drop another episode tomorrow, man. So for now, that is it. Everybody enjoy the rest of y'all day. Enjoy the rest of y'all morning. Be safe out there. Go be productive. Don't let this team stress you out, though. Don't let this team stress you out. They done already done the thing that we needed to get our piece. Willie Green is gone. Now you can just peacefully enjoy and just enjoy it. Just enjoy being a fan. It's all good. For me, I'm A. Davis, Pels in the Blender. All y'all be safe. Peace.